Yeah. What's going on, fam? Commander General Yahan. I just wanted to jump in here. Got Captain Mashak Mayan in here in the building with me. Just wanted to holler at y'all for a minute. I hear a lot of talk going on. Everybody's talking about this new war breaking out, which is so prophetic. And, we told you so many times before that this is the thing to look for. These type of things here, these are the things to look forward to what's going on in the earth. This is the Lord. The Lord always uses these things to cleanse the earth, to cleanse the whole world, to bring it back to what it should be. And so, as you've heard, Donald Trump and the Israelis launch strikes into Iran on both their nuclear sites and several other sites, mostly in the north. They haven't come down and hit them too much in the south yet. I don't know if that's a defensive posture, but they did hit them in the north. And Iran, in retaliation, hit several cities in other countries. They hit Qatar. I heard they hit several other countries. Now, the big question is, have they hit Saudi Arabia? Because if they've hit Saudi Arabia, it fully falls in with the prophecies of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. This is what we've known, that we knew was going to happen. Like, you definitely have to get out of the complacent mind that they put you in for your whole life. Your whole life has been TV, rap stars, sitcoms. That's been our life as black people. The so-called small hats have really orchestrated our whole lives around entertainment and sports. The only avenues, this is by design, the only avenues that was left for us to walk into were, entertainment or sports. And that was to keep us in the machine. And so it's very hard for you to understand, some of you out there, that time is over now. That now is the time to prepare your nation, just like all nations are preparing themselves. Like white America and Nazi America is rising up in America to help America. Well, guess what? It's your time to rise up in America, not to go to war with them, but to fix your 12 tribes of Israel. It's very important. This is that time that we're living in right now. So it was shocking. It was shocking for a lot of people that they went in there, that they bombed the place. Questions of World War III. Yes, it is World War III. It's more of the same. Does it mean it's going to go all the way nuclear now? Not necessarily. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know what the time is. Like the Lord said, no man knoweth the time. But that time is coming. That time, every time one of these skirmishes or one of these wars breaks out, it could actually be that time. If it's not that time, it's damn near close to that time. And so that's what we see going on here. They built up the ships, the drones, the planes, everything, tried to negotiate, believed the negotiations were off, and went in there and went to take Iran out and to wipe them off of the face of the map. And I know a lot of you wondering what's going on with Russia and China. Now, let me tell you something. Russia and China are only concerned with one thing: getting the oil out of there. You got to understand, every one of these nations, even their allies, are extremely selfish. They're only concerned with their own interests. So Russia is not gonna invest their soldiers and their weapons to help Iran unless the United States makes it clear that they're gonna take over the country. If the United States is only concerned with changing the regime, then they're fine with that. They'll let the United States change the regime and they'll negotiate the oil from there. Same with China. Like, understand this, that these nations have allies, but they're not allies like you might think. They allies in their, they're in the best of their interests, but not necessarily on everything. And so far we haven't seen them in, but understand the prophecies, whether they don't get in right now or not. The Lord said that Russia would be in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. He said that they would be drawn in. So they're getting ready to be drawn into this war. So I want to read something, man. Mashak, could we get Isaiah?
Kind of good.
You able to get in with me, Mashak? You sound very low.
So lucky you can.
Is it me? Maybe it's me. Hold on. Let me turn my volume over here. Bear with me, y'all. How about now? Let me see.
Testing 1 2 1 2. You can hear me? Sir?
No, you still sound very low on my side.
Okay.
Maybe it's something I'm doing.
No, it could be mine. Let me make an adjustment here, sir.
Okay.
Testing 1 2 1 2.
That's a slightly better, but still very low on my side.
Okay. I had the mic camera the computer microphone all the way up.
Okay.
2 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2.
I can hear you, but barely. Is anybody in the room with us that could let us know how your volume is? Let me see. Let me get on that page on my other phone. Okay. Oh, everybody in the building. Big shout out to everybody up in the building. Just is that you, Just Art and Paint? Yes, it is. Just Art and Paint. Big shout out to you. Gresha Brown. Big shout out to you. UPK Shalot. Big shout out to you. Who else is up in here? King Denny. What's going on, mighty man? Super Me 66. What's going on? I got Praveen Soul Maka. Okay. Saudi Arabia is joining the fight. Is your prophecy coming true? It absolutely is. If Saudi Arabia gets into the fight, it is totally prophetic. You might not agree with that, but you'll see in this short piece just how wrong you are. Like, this is going to end bad for all the nations involved. Every last one of those nations are going to be drawn into this battle. Matter of fact, I'm going to start. I was going to go to Isaiah, but I tell you what. Well, first of all, before I go that, can y'all give me a 1 that if you can hear Mashak? Mashak, give me a 10 count.
Testing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
Is he fine to y'all? Is his volume right? Does he sound right?
A few people say
everybody giving me 1s. Everybody said you sound good. I don't know. It's probably something with my phone there. Go ahead. What you gonna say, Michelle?
Yeah, I say a few people they're saying that they could hear both of us. It could be that a call came through on yours or something. Sometimes if it notifies.
Oh yeah. That is very possible. But that's all right. I can hear you enough to get it on. All right, the water for everybody, man. UPK Kapa, the water for you. Radar, big shout out to you. You know what I mean? Big shout out to everybody. Banyana, I think I got up in here. Big shout out to you, Banyana 1. Let's get it in, fam. Let's go to it. I was gonna go to that one, but just because I see we got some naysayers up in the building. Listen, let me tell you something. Understand the world we in. We're in a world that does not ever want to believe in the Lord and Jesus Christ. Christianity does not believe in the Lord. Because listen, like anything, if you're a fisherman and you went out to fish and you went through 3 generations of fishermen, the 3rd fisherman would be an expert at fishing because he learned how to fish early from 2 generations of mistakes. If you're a baseball player and your father was a baseball player and your father's father was a baseball player, then you would become an expert baseball player. You know what I mean? If you joined in and put the same effort like your forefathers did, you would be great.
Right.
But what about Christianity? Why is it that Christianity becomes more unholy every year? Why does this belief in Jesus, in the white Jesus, get worse every year? Why do worse stories come out every year about your preachers and about your churches and about the doctrine that you teach and about the people you put in charge, about the vast influx of homosexuality and really the exposing of it? Because you're not following Christianity under Christ. What you're following is, a propaganda lie being given to paid preachers to poison your mind. And what has happened is you become despondent. You become where you don't believe in the very thing that you read about in the Bible. And that's why if you want to serve the Lord, you better go back and become strengthened in following the Bible. Like, that's the book. You gotta, this is about faith and belief and standing on these scriptures. And many of you, unfortunately, you've been played out. This American society that we've lived in has kept a delusion going for years and years and years. You understand? And so the propaganda has made you weak-minded. But I'm here to give it to you straight. You understand? And give you the work of the Lord straight and give you exactly where we are. And I think I'm going to Joel first, because get Joel 3 and 9 if you could. Because this is the plan. See, there's man's plan, and then there's the Most High's plan. And man doesn't understand that the Lord is controlling everything. They're trying to do it now. They're trying to find the God particle. And you heard, if any of you have examined the Epstein files, they are trying to change a part of your brain that they believe is connected to your, to your spirituality. They want to remove that part of your brain so that they can make you more of a robotic slave. They want to take away from that. And who knows, we might find out that's what autism is. That's what them experiments are. We may find out all kinds of things. Jeffrey Epstein clearly said in those files, if you believe the files, which they pulled out straight out of Congress, it's on their website. But if you believe what's in those files, Jeffrey Epstein was trying to create hermaphrodites, which is a person with both sexual organs. And certainly the god that was worshipped in Baal in Babylon was a god that was what they so-called androgynous, which had both sexualities. You've seen the statue 1,000 times. Mashaka, if you can, pull up that statue where he's sitting down and he has a pair of female breasts, and then he has the horns on his head and he got some symbol in his hand. I always wonder, man, like, how could Hollywood be so gay? Like, why is Hollywood so gay? Because that is the agenda in Hollywood. That's not the exception. Even though homosexuality is a small fringe compared to the rest of society. But yet in Hollywood, it's almost everybody in Hollywood. Why? Because that's always been the agenda of the small hats, to entertain you and keep you in it. Ask yourself questions like, who created the porn industry? Small hats.
That's right.
Who runs the whole Hollywood industry? Small hats. Who runs the music industry? Small hats. Who's steadily taking over the sports industry? Small hats. This has been the agenda. And so you got to get your mind out of the world. Yeah, is this the one? Let me see. Make it bigger if you could, Michelle, real quick. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can make it big on my own screen. Yes, I can.
I could make it. I could make the whole image.
Yeah, that's okay, but yeah, that's good. But they got even better ones that show them without the baby. But okay, that is what was worshipped in Baal. That was the worship of a bull or a goat, and it represented their god. In other words, they looked at that animal, and they looked at how that animal was fierce and tough and a fighting animal, and they contributed it to themselves, and they put together all kind of lies about it. And the problem with us today is they've been pushing this into our society without us really being aware of what's going on. And then when you're not paid under these lies, then you become independently strong. And you become independently strong, and then you begin to see these things. So to get back on the track, that's why it's hard for us at this time to see that this is the end of the world. That what we see happening all out here is the end of the world. And now more than ever, you got to cleave to the Bible. Let's go to the scriptures. Joel 3 and 9. Let's check it out.
Joel.
Yeah, that's another good picture of Baal right there.
Come on, guys. Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men.
Right, prepare war. This was the Lord's prophecy a while back. Prepare war, man. Prepare to go to battle. And that's what they're doing right here. They're preparing to go to battle. And we shouldn't be surprised at it. Like black people, Latinos and Native Indians, you better get ready for a time in society where all the conveniences and the delicate life that we've lived is no longer here. You better get ready for that, because some rough times are coming in. And the Lord is saying it, prepare war. These nations, they're being prepared to be taken down. Go ahead.
Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near.
Yeah, they drawing near. Like he's saying, wake them up. Get them out of that sleep they in. You got your mighty men, they partying and getting drunk and doing Lord knows what all around the world. But the Lord said, wake them up. I got some work for them. I got something for them to do. Let me draw them all down in here. Go ahead.
Let all the men of war draw near.
He said, all the men of war. Every nation on this earth is being drawn down into that Middle East now. And what Trump had to say about it was very, very strange. Like very strange. I believe we put it in the caption. Am I right?
Kind of what kind of.
Like we put it in the caption because it was rare for a president, you understand, in the opening speech going into a war to declare that there might be some soldiers killed. That is very rare. Like usually a president would not even mention something like that.
Right.
Can we play just that part of the tape, Mashak? I'm jumping around a little bit. We're not going to be on long, fam. We're going to be on for a little bit of questions. I want to tell y'all too, if you haven't already, hit me with whatever questions you may have, you know what I'm saying, on the in the chat room, all right?
I have the
okay. According to Praveen, Saudi Arabia confirmed Saturday that Iran hit Riyadh and its eastern region with strikes, warning it reserved the right to defend itself, including retaliating, which means more war, another nation in it, and biblical prophecy in it. Here we go. Right now, Russia does not want to get in it. They want to see if it's going to be regime change and if they can negotiate their way out. They're going to be drawn in it too. Part of that biblical prophecy. Whenever you ready, Mashak, you got a question up there? I can't see it on my phone.
Now I'm just pulling up what you was reading.
Oh, okay, the same one that I was reading. Okay,
yeah.
Done. Like I said, if anybody have any questions, if you haven't put it in already, please hit me with the questions that you might have concerning the war and what's going on right now. All right, let's get it on.
Kind of okay.
Is it playing for you, Mashak? Because I don't hear it.
Okay, let me reshare it. So 1 second.
Only if I should come out and go back in. You think so or no? Just hold.
Yeah, sometimes it does that when you're sharing it. It would, the audio sometimes gets affected.
Okay.
And it is a noble.
Oh, well, no, you could hear him now.
Yeah, that's good.
We pray for every lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future. And it is a noble mission. We pray.
You stop right there. Like, that's very strange. It's almost as though he knows this is going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, those are some awfully, those aircraft carriers, they got the biggest aircraft carriers in the world. And they sending them down into that area, knowing that Iran has those type of missiles. Those missiles could easily hit those aircraft carriers. Now, it would, okay, the only thing that could happen is they could hit those aircraft carriers, and then the United States and Israel would have, probable cause to drop a nuclear bomb on them. And so him knowing the fact that soldiers could be killed, or rather him broadcasting that soldiers could be killed, you know, is it's a little strange.
Yeah.
Because if they put them aircraft carriers in harm's way, and the Iranians fire on those aircraft carriers, or some other situation reveals itself, that means that, you know, they're gonna take this to the next level, and you can get ready to see nuclear bombs hitting in the Middle East. You can get ready to see Iran. You know, you get ready to see a whole lot of them 75 million people over there get wiped out. You know what I mean? Like that, like the death toll could go up to 25 million or something like that. Like, because they would believe they have the pretense, and, you know, they're not beyond it. They're not beyond anything like that. So it could get real messy. Either way, it is the Lord drawing all nations in. Now it might die down, just like it died down after they finished with, and it doesn't really ever die down. Let me clarify that. The die down doesn't really ever happen. What really just happens is they just take it out of the news. Like, you don't hear about what's going on in Lebanon, but they still in there fighting. Right. What's going on in Syria, they still fighting. What's going on in Iraq, they're still fighting. You don't hear about any of that, but yes, they are still fighting in all of those areas. So it's more to come, and the more to come is going to be bad. Let's go back to Joel, like the Lord said. Now let's go back to what the Most High is talking about. The Most High is saying, man, let's draw them all down into this. And Israel, get your mind out of the world. When that scripture in Revelation 18:4 said, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, the Lord meant that. Like the people that are going to die in the Middle East in this war are those that have partaken in her sin in one way or another. Those that have either enslaved the children of Israel in the past, enslaved the children of Israel now, those who have stolen the identity of the children of Israel, those who have committed atrocities against the children of Israel, those have used wise means to destroy and harm and violate the children of Israel. All of those people that have done these things around the world have done them believing that there's no God, believing that really, you know, we got religions, but really we don't believe in no God. Netanyahu came out himself and said he doesn't believe in any God. You know what I mean? He said this himself. Donald Trump said he don't believe he can go to heaven. He don't believe God is going to take him to heaven. Right. He said straight up. Now we know why. All you got to do is open up the Epstein files, and now you can understand why. You know what I mean? So, and when we look at how Epstein was, you know, Israeli U.S. asset, and the abominable things he was doing, and how the FBI was told to hold off on pulling those arrests for years. After 2008, why is all this coming out now? Almost 20 years later. That was 2008. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? It's been 15, what is this? 2008 to 26? It's 18 years, correct?
Yeah. Kind of
something like that, Mashak?
Yeah, you're right. So 18 years.
That's 18 years since he was arrested the first time. You mean to tell me them women didn't testify back then? Of course they did. You mean to tell me they never investigated him? Of course they did. Okay? All that wealth and power and trafficking right on U.S. soil, on Little St. James Island. Right. You can best believe they got millions of documents on this guy. Like that Epstein file is being released because they got millions of documents on that thing. And a lot of people believe that it's being done just to keep the heat off of Trump, because the Hillary thing didn't spark up enough interest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It didn't spark enough interest. So now they think like these wars will never stop as long as that Epstein file, because they said the second half of the files that they want to release, which is only 1% of how many documents they have. They've been doing this. I mean, full-fledged trafficking rings, full-fledged, baby eating, full-fledged. I mean, these people believe in eating human flesh out on another level. And if you ever want to understand how it could all be real, I'm just divert for a minute. I'm gonna come back to the war. This is how this happened. Because once the United States had the organization, their secret spy organization was called the OSI. I think it's the OSI or OSS, something like that. Anyway, that organization was the precursor to the CIA. Once the CIA got established, the CIA had Congress give them a blank check to do whatever they wanted to do outside the country. So that meant that they could do all the dirty tricks that they wanted to do outside the country, as long as it was for the benefit of the United States. So, of course, to do those things, the CIA recruited some of the most horrible, vile, disgusting people you ever met. I mean, they was doing so-called MK Ultra with mind control experiments and poisoning people with LSD. I mean, they just went to no limit to achieve their goals in evil. And the Lord was watching it and seeing it and waiting for our time to end. And so once you start off a group like that, if you have a nation, and all these nations have them, where you have a group that is outside the law and outside of any morals, and so they get to just do all the evil they want to do, then guess what? They evolve. And as they evolve into an organization that finances itself, that sells drugs, that kills, murder, rapes, prostitutes, child traffics. Like, that's just a natural progression when you take people and tell them, y'all don't have to follow the law no more. We back you up. Y'all can go overthrow whoever you want, do what you got to do. And that's why they have these titles, like the Mossad, like the CIA. These groups are infamous around the world. People are frightened of these groups, and that's where it comes from. And then it rises up to this level, and before you know it, you end up in World War III. The world was only set to be run by one person, and that was Yahushua. Like, he is the inheritance of this earth. He is the one that's supposed to be on the throne, not Donald Trump, not Netanyahu, not the Ayatollah, not Xi Jinping, not Putin. All of these leaders can only do what they can do, but they can't do what Yahushua does. So you got to pull yourself away from this world. You got to pull yourself away. You got to pull yourself away from thinking that the world is just fine and this is more of the same. It is not more of the same. It is going to turn on the world in a second. You know what I mean? It's just the stages, just like a pregnant woman, the stages of her pregnancy go on and on and on until she has that baby. And those pains get worse and worse as we go further. You know what I mean? They get worse and worse as we go on. So, Meshach, did you want to jump in with anything right quick before I go back to them scripts?
John, I don't know how true it is that they say that they get to kill Ayatollah. That he was killed.
I heard they said he's dead.
That's what they say, and I see a few people post it in the comments as well, but I'm not 100% sure if they get it.
Yeah, because I heard them say, y'all tell me, y'all, but I heard them say that Justin, you say that Justin says the Ezekiel prophecies make no sense. You mean you don't understand them or make no sense because it mentions Persia as Iran and it is no factor at all? If that's what you're saying. But if that's what you're saying, then you just have a lack of understanding of the geographical locations from that time. It was a part of the Persian Empire, and those are Persians. But so was that land part of so many other empires. And in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, Iran falls in perfectly because of who they're aligned with. You understand? When the Lord said Gog and Magog is coming down to enter into this war, it includes Iran. But I'll come back to it in a second. But Meshach, I had heard that he was not killed. That's what I heard. I heard that a little while ago. on one of the live channels from the ambassador. He said that they were all safe and so forth. So they could be dead now, but I know that they had reported that he was fine, he was safe, and so forth and so on. So who knows? You know what I mean? Like, they got a lot going on. Another thing too about over there in them Arab countries, they're not innocent. They're not innocent. Them Arab countries are heavily inundated with homosexuality.
That's right.
Like, that seems to be the vice of Satan's choice. You know what I mean? Like all these heathens, regardless of who they are, what religion they are, they all seem to take on the same patterns. You know what I mean? Like one side got Christianity, other side got Islam. And then while you in Islam, you suppressing women, which you believe to be right. But then where does this homosexual thing come in and be so proliferated? I remember Kazak Ahmad, when he said he was over there, they called them, what did they call them, Mashak? You remember what he said?
Is it boy lovers or
some kind of boy thing?
Yeah.
Picard said, especially in Afghanistan, like, you're not innocent before the Most High, you know what I mean, because you wear a long robe and you speak Arabic and you carry your beads and you pray 5 times a day. If you call them chai boys, Picard said they call them chai boys. Or dancing boys. Young man Charles said they dancing boys. Like it's heavy, it's big over there. And then here's the thing. You may all be Muslims, but if you got a strong population of homosexuals, they're gonna push against having women, which means they're gonna want more restrictions on women. They're gonna want that woman covered up from head to toe. And they're gonna push for those things. You understand? Not because they think it's of Islam, but because they're homosexual. So they don't want her competing against them at all. So it's a whole lot of evil that, goes on, not to mention, from our stance as Hebrew Israelites, all those religions are lies. I mean, you listen to some of those Epstein tapes, and I mean, the small hats, they eating flesh. They believe in eating the flesh. And they believe that high, in certain circles, they believe that human flesh is the highest level of the food chain. Like, we eating steaks in the restaurants, and we looking at the steaks like, yo, this is top notch. I'm gonna get me a big ass T-bone or big ass, whatever kind of steak you used to eat. But not them. They thinking that the highest level is to take the human.
Right.
And eat him. Like, that's the better meat in their mind. Like that animal ain't in the field chewing on grass. That's a better, it's a higher delicacy of meat. They don't look at it like we hiding this because we know this is wrong. They looking at it like it's a better thing of meat, and they ain't trying to share it with everybody else.
Right.
Like, it's insane. And I believe that they have a philosophy with the child molestation as well, because the child molestation in many of these countries goes into male and female. And I believe that it have a lot to do with being able to deal with a virgin. I mean, they brought out how in the Talmud it says that they could have sex with a child as long as it's like 3 years old or something like that. Say that again, Michelle?
I said, damn.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the Talmud. You know what I mean? And of course, everybody knows by now that Muhammad had a 9-year-old girl.
Right.
I mean, it was married to her at 9. There's some argument and debate that he didn't actually marry her to a lot later on and all of that. But the point is, man, all of this is evil as hell. And it will be cleansed by the Lord. And that's why we read in Joel, because it's going to be drawn down into this valley to bring hell down on this entire earth. All of it is going down. And like the only people who under the Lord's guidance will follow the Most High and rise the nation up. And on the very top of the nation will be righteousness, as opposed to wickedness would be among the children of Israel. That is the real sheep of the Lord. Like when King David sent that heathen to die against the wall. You understand, when The prophets came to him and told him that, that the Lord knew what he did. He spilled himself on the ground. They couldn't even feed him. Like, that's a man of God. They could not even feed him. He would not eat any bread and beg the Most High and beg the Lord also when it came to his child, whom the Lord took from him. You know what I mean? And that's the people you have to have in charge. You can't have people in charge that's just, that are part of an organization in your government that has no rules. They're going to eventually take over everything. And once they take over everything, they're going to kill everybody they can get their hands on. And once they do all of that, then they'll be cannibalizing themselves. You know what I mean? And that is what has gone on over the thousands and thousands of years in this kingdom. And the Lord has had to step in every time. You know what I mean? The Lord has had to step in every time. So Israelites, man, wake up. Wake up. I'm going to tell you something. This is just a suggestion, but I think that you should consider it. Like, these cities in America that blacks and Latinos and Native Indians have lived in, and I'm coming back to the war, have lived in are, okay, they are almost designed like slave pits. Like, your food, your water, all of it has to be trucked in. Let's think about that for a second. You're in the city, in one of these major cities. To get your food, to get your water, some truck has to bring it to you. Now, in the past, we all was given land as Israelites. Everybody had a plot of land. You understand? And so your plot of land became your way to feed yourself and sustain yourself far better than somebody having to truck it to you. And then you having to go work and take the money and give it to them. Like, that's backwards. That's a slave pit. You know what I mean? And a person that's not a slave would be able to produce their own food, their own water from rain barrels or whatever the case is. So what I'm saying to you is, if you can, this is my suggestion at this time, it would be very good to practice growing some food. I'm talking about not moving somewhere. I'm talking about wherever you are. Take a corner of your living room. Go on YouTube. They got vertical towers, all kind of grow lights. It would be wise to learn how to do that right now. It would be wise to learn how to grow a small amount of food in the event that things went wrong. Where would you get water from if the water system gets contaminated, gets poisoned by another nation, gets shut off because they can't chance you drinking that water because some nation that they've bombed into the Stone Age has made their way over here and put some poison in the system. Now, it's been in 1,000 movies. It seems very unlikely. It seems almost, paranoia. But what if? So why not be wise now and stop acting like life will go on forever? It will not. I'm reading the prophecies for you now. Do yourself a favor. If everybody in every major city, like whatever major city you're in, if everybody in that city had the habit of growing a little bit of food, if everybody had it, then guess what? You would destroy a ton of the economics in the society. But more importantly, the society would never be able to control you, because you'd always be able to feed yourself, and there'd be food everywhere because people would be growing food everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying grow everything. I'm not saying become a prepper, you know what I mean, and all of that stuff. But you should consider that these prophecies may not happen now. They could be happening now, but they may not. They most likely are not. But you should not trust your complacency. You should not trust yourself, because you should say to yourself, I've been taught to just be a slave. So right. I don't have no urgency when it comes to these things. So since you know that, you should consider it. This is just a consideration. You know what I mean? A lot of you will be like, General Yohana's tripping, but I've never said this. Those of you that have followed me, those of you who have been seeing my tapes for the last 40 years, I've never said these things before, but I am mentioning them now, and I'm trying to mention them delicately to you because I'm trying to not sound like a conspiracy nut. I'm trying not to sound like somebody you gonna bug out on and say, he done lost it. But
Right.
why would we trust these people on everything? Why would we trust what we watching on TV and on the internet as being something strong, the gospel for us, on how we should do our thing? I'm not going urgent. You are a conspiracy nut. Prioritize my peace. Prioritize my peace. You said I watch CNN nonstop. Listen, go ahead. Don't do it. I'm not telling you to do it. I say this is a suggestion. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be bothered with that. Me myself, I'm gonna be transferring over away from a ton of these poisons y'all got out here in this food. I'm gonna be transitioning away from a lot of that stuff, man, and trying to change the game up a little bit on my own set. So now, if you don't want you, that's up to you. And if you think it's a big conspiracy thing, it's up to you. As far as we could, you know, we don't know. Prioritize my peace ain't nothing but some cop sitting in here trying to keep everybody asleep. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Right or wrong, Michelle?
You're right, sir. If I could too, sir.
Yeah.
Like what he was talking about, the water and the poisoning. You know, DC, 250 million gallons of raw sewage spilled into the Potomac a few weeks ago. And it gave the entire DMV a scare about the water and if the drinking water is good. So what you saying, they could be running a whole test because everybody thought it was the cold that made the pipe burst. They say the sanitary towels that's not flushable, like your wipes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People flush that down the toilet and that balled up, and they showed up a big pile of it. And I'm like, come on, man! Like you mean to tell me in 2026 this make all that happen? No, they could definitely be running them type of tests. Poisoning the water to see.
Right. Like look at Flint, Michigan.
Right.
They purposely rerouted that water and poisoned it with lead. So what's to say, you know, some foreign actor can't get involved in, you know, in doing something like that? Yes, you know what I mean? Are we living in a country with no Iranians?
Right.
Are we living in a country where even though they're getting ready to bomb the Ayatollah Khomeini and others, you think that there's no Iranian, there's not even one Iranian here that would be willing to do something, you know, devastatingly evil in this place?
Right.
See, well, you know what I mean? When they wearing, you know, they garbed up in Islam and molesting little boys, you telling me I have nothing to worry about at no time ever? Come on, man. Anything is possible in this place. And my point is, because of the might of America, we have never believed that we ever had to have some sense of security about ourselves. But here's what the Lord said. The Lord said, I'm paraphrasing, that it is be a curse on us to trust in Pharaoh and to trust on horses. I'm paraphrasing around the 30th chapter of Isaiah. Like that would be a mistake on our part. That would be a mistake. And sure enough, we would make that mistake. And we would make that mistake because we love to trust in Egypt. We didn't want to leave Egypt. When Moses tried to get us out of Egypt, we didn't want to leave. Right. We tried to stay. Then when he took us out, we tried to go back. Like we didn't want none of the hard life. And that's why the Bible is such an education, because in essence, as you get ready as your captivity gets ready to end, it is going to be very difficult for you to change up from the lifestyle you had in slavery to a lifestyle where you got to be free and responsible and cautious and protecting and organized. Like that's going to become very difficult to do because that's what we're not used to. Right. We're not used to that type of behavior. And so that's why I say, why not practice it now? Why does that freak you out? Why would that be so strange if you really believe in the Bible? Like, why would you be so inclined? Christ said this. Christ said, pray not that your journey be not in the winter.
Yeah.
That's what he said. In other words, if it's in the winter, it's going to be worse. You're going to have a rough ass journey. So why not get a little smarter? That's all I'm suggesting, but I ain't gonna drag on it long. Let's go on back, Mashak, could we?
So, look, if I could too, sir, just
Please.
before you move, there's two things. I spoke to Captain Karathi. I was in the UK this morning, seeing that
Mhm.
outside, and he was saying, as he's watching on social media, the comments under the news clips is Arabs over there saying, "All right, brothers, it's time. It's time now." It's like that's all you're seeing in the comments. So what you're saying is so right. Where we are so ill prepared because we don't have that nation. Like they seeing the times, they seeing the signs. They're gonna get together. They're gonna do whatever it is, and we'd be simple to think that America has a plan that includes us when they start, doing the domestic stuff.
Listen, you so right. I'm gonna go a step further, if I could, Mashak, and say we are downright stupid to not think that way. Because what's happening all around America? You got white supremacist groups and militia groups completely joining the administration, becoming ICE agents, mounting up in these groups. You think being complacent now is the thing to be? Like you think there's nothing to see here when why are they preparing for that? Why are they taking in militias and making them federal officers, paying them $50,000 bonuses? Why are they doing that? They doing that, but you saying just, you watch too much CNN. I watch too much CNN, but they arming up with tanks and stuff to prepare to come on these streets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They hired 150,000 ICE agents, setting up huge detention centers, especially down there in Atlanta, right outside of Atlanta. They setting up a detention center, brother, to hold thousands of people in it. Like they're not even waiting to no prisons get built. You know what I mean? Like why would you be so complacent seeing the world that you living in? You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? That was and Egypt to Israel, that was the one, 31:1. That was the scripture I was paraphrasing. That's a very good scripture. Like, that's the one I was paraphrasing. Like, why would you be that way? Wake up. Get into these scriptures. Get into the Lord's spirit of when he's pulled us out of all these captivities. And let me hit you with something that we don't realize as well, too, being in this captivity 400 years. People get displaced all over the world. At all times in history. You know how many nations, how much overthrows of this nation and this group and that group. This has gone on in empires for thousands of years. We just happen to be kept in this captivity for the last 400 and some odd years. But if you go back and look at 400 years of captivity, how many regimes and empires got overthrown? You even here in America. You know what I mean? The French had an empire here. The British had an empire here. The Spaniards had an empire here. You understand? And the British came in and overthrew them too and ran their people out of here. The Caribbean had empires. They overthrew that. Central and South America had several empires. They overthrew that. So empires get overthrown. People get displaced. Nations get pushed off their land. Don't think nothing like that can't happen to us here. I'm not trying to make you a conspiracy theorist or have you paranoid, but get focused on the Lord and not focus like a dodo bird, like they teach you in the Christian church. I just believe in Jesus. That's all I got to do is believe in Jesus. Christ said, watch as well as pray. Christ said to watch as well as pray. Not me. Christ did. So I'm going to watch. And as we watch, take a few measures to protect yourself. You know what I mean? Especially if you have small children. You know what I mean? So let's get it on. Oh, they brought all the cops in tonight, huh?
Yeah, they're upset.
All the popo up in here tonight.
I could segregate them. I could get them out of here if you want to.
No. I don't got no problem with them in here. No, you know what I mean? I would rather answer some of the nonsense they be coming with. You know what I mean? First of all, none of us can change the program for what Avery is saying. None of us can change the program. The program gets changed by Yahushua. The question is, are you prepared for Yahushua? You understand? Christ spoke about the ones whose candle would not be lit because they was unprepared. They didn't have their oil in their candle. Be prepared to know what it is the Lord said to do. You understand? Listen, if you in here coming against me, you definitely the police. Even if you try to claim you not, you the po-po, nigga.
That's right.
You ain't fooling nobody. Please. Come on, let's get it on. Let's go on back to it, Michelle. Let's get back to the scripture on this war.
Okay, come on. You want to go back to Joel 3?
Please, if you could.
Joel 3, picking up from verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords.
Now, I didn't say this. The Lord said this. He said, beat your plowshares into sword, meaning prepare yourself for battle. Prepare yourself for battle. And these nations better prepare for this battle. Go ahead, Well, these ain't my words. These are the Lord's words. You know what I mean? And let's go a step further. Christ said when they was coming to get Christ, Christ told Peter and them, sell your coat and buy a sword. That's what Christ said. Christ said for them to prepare themselves because I'm about to be gone.
Right.
We in this end times now, man. And you telling me you can't even grow some food? You got to get all the food. Now, let me tell you something else, too. They're talking about, if they ain't even done it already, they're talking about putting vaccines in the food. That's right. They're talking about growing vaccines in your food. So you get your food and you eat your food and you take in doses of vaccines. They was arguing it in Congress. They were trying to say, well, listen, if they're going to have vaccines in it, at least let them label the food as a pharmaceutical so that this way you can know how much you're supposed to take. Because what if they put it in lettuce and you eat lettuce every day?
Right.
How much vaccine are you taking? Who knows? And the vaccine companies have no liability for them vaccines because they know sometimes, you could get sick from them. You know what I mean? Like usually babies will get a fever or something like that. The point is this, like, why not grow something? Why not have, you know what I'm saying, a little sense of, and listen, as an Israelite and learning the scriptures, you're supposed to have a sense of, I don't want to be relying on the slave master for everything. Right. You're supposed to have a sense of, as a shepherd taking care of the brothers and sisters, as opposed to being old lapdog. You know what I mean? That's willing to just sit around and say nothing's gonna happen and put all your and listen. And now that I think about it, you brothers in here that say that, you are, for you to come up against what I'm saying, I mean, you're willing to be a lapdog for the nation that has had you in slavery for 400 years. Like, you're so much a slave that after 400 years, you can't even take the suggestion of growing some food. Not going to war, not fighting anybody, but just growing some food makes you think, somebody's being a full conspiracy theorist. Like, you are disgusting. After all of this, your full trust is in there. Like, oh, you filthy, man. Ugh, take you off. You disgusted, man. Let's go, Michelle. Listen, Shabai, you might be right because they said that they claim that there's they did a study in Philadelphia and claimed that Philadelphia had 400 narcotics, 400 different narcotics in the water. And they said that it happened. Supposedly, this happened because the narcotics do not they're flushed down the toilet, and they don't get filtered out by the water companies. So in essence, the water that you bringing into your house is a lot of times filled with a lot of chemicals, antidepressants, and this and that and the other. And let me tell you something else: the bottled water that you have, that ain't coming from 1,000 miles away. That's coming from, right around your area. You know what I mean? Running through a purifier and being shipped right back to you. They couldn't give you water from other places because the only way for them to do it is to make sure that there's absolutely no bacteria in that water, because different regions are used to different bacteria. Like if you live in if you've ever lived in a major city and then you went to another major city and you said to yourself, the water tastes funny over here. Like, I don't like, you go to one city and it's like the water's funny. It's not that the water's funny, it's that the makeup of the water is different than what you're used to. And so bottled water that you buy most of the time it's bottled right near you, unless it says bottled at the source. Right. Then it's usually bottled right near you. You know what I mean?
Come on. General, I don't know if you remember too, a few years ago, you had brought it out how they did the study on the frogs in the Potomac River, again, right in DC. And they were saying they had male frogs that was developing female characteristics because
that's right.
They say here endocrine disrupting contaminants in there, where the male frogs down there getting feminized.
Is right. It's called atrazine.
Come.
Is the chemical that this is what was happening. Yeah. And once again, that medicine is in the Epstein files. And it's in the Epstein files because they were experimenting with the idea of creating hermaphrodites. So they was using this chemical to test what would happen. So who the hell knows how, if they put it in the water on purpose or not. You know what I mean? I don't want to make everybody a conspiracy theorist, but I do want you to become a little more vigilant, a little less of a sucker to the TV set, a little less of a fool to the internet, a little less of a, love society, lustful fag. I mean, you had whole fags creating Israelite groups. And let me tell you something. Speaking of that medicine that you were talking about, a lot of these cats may be being chemically changed and not know it.
Right.
Like how do you know that they're not putting stuff in whatever city you're in to make the men the way they are? Like, why is San Francisco such a haven of homosexuality? San Francisco is far enough away from Hollywood that it shouldn't have the same effect on. But yet in that city it was so much. Why is Baltimore that way? Baltimore is another city that's a huge haven of homosexuality and lesbianism, and in Baltimore is mostly in the black community, where Johns Hopkins said they went and tried to study young black men and homosexual lives.
Yeah.
Or some type of sexuality to get them to be that way. I don't even know what it was. I forget what it was. I don't trust these people. You sit up there like a big dummy and trust them. I don't trust them. I trust the Most High. And read that part that you just read in Joel again, huh?
Counsel.
Right. Trooper Yahweh Kwayum, Salaki Yahweh Kwayum, if I messed it up. He said that estrogen, that they could be putting estrogen in the water. Hell yeah, they could be. I'm not saying to run around and watch every bottle of water you drink and every piece of food you eat. But boy, a little self-survival is probably good for you. Some of you don't even have a goddamn flashlight in the house. Go buy a couple candles and a couple flashlights, man. You know what I'm saying? Get you a little rechargeable flashlight so you can live an extra day in the event that they pull the plug on this place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Al.
And your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
Right. Let the weak say I'm strong. That's how a strong man would think. A weak man would think, please give me some bread. A strong man would think, man, show me where the wheat is so I can cut some down and grind some and we could get some bread up in here. Like, that's how a strong man would think. That's why they were so weakened when they came out of Egypt. We want to go back to the flesh pots. Those were the weak ones. Those weren't the strong ones. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the Lord was with the strong ones. They went and ate the manna from heaven. These idiots wanted to go back and get their little stews from Egypt, even having been a slave so long. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like again, I got to go back to the Epstein files again real quick. When you go back and look at them Epstein files, almost all these top black entertainers were the weakest among us. These black entertainers that they made rich, every last one of them either were homosexual or they forced them to be homosexual in some way or did some criminal acts or lived a criminal life. like they took almost everybody from, a horrible place of weakness and put them up over everybody else to promote every evil, disgusting act there is around. But meanwhile, small hats, they kids don't listen to rap music at all. They people ain't around that stuff at all. That's not how they roll. So this is how they done dealt with us here. So listen, for the brothers that's strong. The ones that don't want to do it, don't do it. Who cares? But for the brothers that are strong, man, put you a couple plants on that terrace. You're gonna have a good feeling later on. Man, especially if the goddamn lights go out. You're gonna really be like, damn. Like you should think for 1 minute what it would be like if this place goes, because it could go. America is at war. It does not mean that America is going to always be safe. Like they done hurt a lot of people. Cuba got nuclear missiles 90 miles off of America and their economy just crashed. Anything is possible. I'm not saying that's going to happen. More than likely it will never happen. But this is the time we're in. So let's get back to that scripture, please, if you could, in the Middle East, and I'm going to get ready to call it a show. Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about.
See that? The Lord saying, gather yourselves. He bringing them in. Every one of these incidents and every one of these skirmishes that you see is another attempt at the Lord bringing them in. Bringing them in. Go ahead.
Thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down.
Right.
O Lord.
Go ahead.
Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat.
And that valley of Jehoshaphat, brother, that's in Jerusalem. I mean, that's in Israel, not in Jerusalem, but it's in Israel. The southern part of Israel, brother, that's that valley of Jehoshaphat. He is calling them up in there. You know what I mean? And they are all being drawn into this. They think they know what they're doing. But the Most High is in the middle of all of it. He can do anything he wants to do at any time. And boy, we should have faith in the Lord and pray and hope that he come and cut this time short, like he said, and deliver the children of Israel up out of there. The Egyptians had no clue what they was up against. The Egyptians thought they knew what they was doing. And them 10 plagues, brother, brought them to their knees. You hear me? Brought them to their knees, and not a single shot fired. The Lord did not meet them as a man. He met them with plagues, brother, that came out of nowhere. And we had to separate ourselves so that we would not get the plagues. And we had to get away from them and really begin to take care of ourselves and prepare ourselves. Well, guess what? You're going to take care and prepare yourself in this time too. You know what I mean? You're going to fight to be a people at this time before, it's all over. So it's starting over there now. Maybe it'll quell down. Who knows? Maybe they'll kill the leaders and take over for a little while, but that means absolutely nothing. It does not mean a single thing. Go ahead.
For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
See that? The Lord said there he will sit and judge all the heathen. All the nations that go down in that Middle East are going to die by the hand of the Lord. All of them are going to die by nuclear war. And don't make no mistake, nuclear war is coming.
Yeah,
they're going to die by hands of nuclear war. Zechariah, brings that out. Mashak, can you jump to Isaiah 13:4 right quick?
Come on, sir.
Hey, y'all join me Monday night. I'm going to really go into the war more, go into what's going on, and go into the mind we should have as this goes on. Don't fall for the propaganda, because the propaganda is going to be coming out. They're going to be spinning these things out like you've never seen before. You stick to the biblical prophecies. That's what's going to give you the insight. You know what I mean? There's never been a more insightful book than the Bible. You know what I mean? There has never been a more insightful book on what's going on in these scriptures. So don't trust nothing they feeding you. Trust these scriptures, man. Let's roll.
Come on. Isaiah 13 and verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains.
Right. the noise of a multitude in them mountains. They in them mountains hitting them now, boy. Trying to hit them nuclear sites, trying to go down in them tunnels. They got whole cities in both them countries where they can bring their whole entire leadership, 30 stories down underneath the earth. Go ahead. That's another thing came out in the Epstein file. How they had tunnels, man, running halfway across this country. They got a whole nother world underneath this world, run by clandestine organizations, man. They got high-speed trains. They brought all that out. They running from one mansion to the next mansion. They don't even see the public half the time. Or they'll jump on a plane, go someplace, go in a tunnel, go shoot, 1,000 miles somewhere else. So they got all this going on. And the Lord said they're going to go into them holes of the rocks and seek that the rocks fall on them and seal their ass up underneath there, because the fear of the Lord is going to be all over this earth. Go ahead, Salaki.
Come on, sir. As Salaki, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms.
Right, a tumultuous noise of these kingdoms. Go ahead, Salaki.
A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle.
The Lord is mustering the host. You still in Joel, Mashak?
No, Isaiah 13 and
4.
Okay,
cool. From 4 down?
from verse 4. Yeah, I just finished.
Yeah, the Lord said he mustering this host to this battle. You know what I mean? So this is what's going to go down. It's looking like it's going to be a long, raggedy war. It's looking like if they don't drop a nuke on them, it's going to be a long, dragged out war. It's looking like it's going to be, skirmishes back and forth. Once again, America will be starved for, they'll squeeze our necks harder to come up with more money to fund the war. People will be angry. They're going to lose loved ones for no reason. They said the soldiers are upset and flooding the toilets down there in the Caribbean. So, yeah, they mad as hell because they've been on that ship so long down there, and they ready to get a break and get off that ship and go see their families for a minute. But they on that ship, because they fighting, I guess, God knows what down there in Venezuela. And
Right.
so they ready to get the hell off it. So they start putting they sweat hoods and towels and everything in all the toilets on them ships. And the damn ships are flooded as shit, and water float running through them ships. They brought it out on the news. There ain't nothing but water and shit running through the floors on them ships. Now they steady in there trying to clean the damn thing up and everything. It's a wreck. It's a mess.
Yeah. And
So
General,
welcome to the 21st century.
and General, if I could say, like, imagine you ain't even in a full out firefight war yet, and your soldiers is already spent.
Right.
Imagine if shit really get to flying. What would
Forget about it.
on you? Like, them soldiers going to turn on each other.
Yes. You absolutely right. Like, they're going to turn on each other, man. They're going to go crazy.
Come on. I don't know if you remember too. So last year when he did when he had the National Guard in DC, remember they had those big Humvees and the big tanks, the kind of tanks.
Yeah, they call them a deuce and a quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, those tanks, them soldiers and them was defecating in them because they was on such a long shift, and they didn't set it up right for them with the bathrooms and shit. They were just pissing and shit on them.
Wow.
And that's why after a while they just move them out and scale it down and get the soldiers to go wherever else. But he's stressing these soldiers who he's asking to go really give their life.
Yeah. Yeah. You right. You know, man. If you one of them soldiers, boy, sitting up in that Middle East right now, you like, what the hell am I doing here? Especially if you black.
Yeah.
If you black or Latino, I know they wonder, you getting calls from back home that ICE is kicking in people's doors and shooting people in the street and all that. You out here in the Middle East somewhere getting ready to fight somebody, that's a rough call, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we in some real times where you're gonna have to really once again be vigilant. All you good police officers on this chat room, you understand? You need to be vigilant, and you need to be able to make the right decisions, man. There's one brother that called us already. You know, his daughter said that called him and told him to that she was told by her commanding officer to let her family know that she is in an active war zone at this time. And she called her father, like, and he had told her already, listen, do not join that military. He fought her, and she went on. She wanted to join, so she joined, and now she's sitting in a bunker underground somewhere in the Middle East. She couldn't disclose where, but she's sitting in a bunker underground, trying to avoid getting a bomb dropped on her head.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And stuck down in that bunker. God knows how, what kind of way they living down under there while they waiting to avoid these, these weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got to go to war, it got to be for righteous reasons. So America better really have good righteous reasons, or the Lord is not going to be with them. They may win a war, or they might even lose a war, but regardless of what it is, you better be sure you doing it for righteousness in the hands of the Most High, or you making a horrible, stupid, ridiculous mistake. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead. Go give me a little bit more, and I'm gone. Go ahead, huh?
So this brother here, Justin Nichols.
Right, Justin Nichols said my nephew is at a base in Qatar right now. Damn. I pray he be all right. You know what I mean? I haven't heard from him in 2 weeks. Damn. That means he's in one of them bunkers, or he's out in the field handling one of the missile batteries or some other weapon. You know what I mean? Because they hit Qatar this morning. They bombed Qatar this morning. I watched it. They dropped the drone down on one of the mosques and rocked the whole, lit the whole mosque up. It was, they hit there. They hit Dubai. They blew up one of their top hotels in Dubai. I mean, the hotel looked like a goddamn palace.
Okay.
And they dropped something down in that sucker board. It was hell on earth and lit the whole damn place. The whole place is on fire now. You know what I mean? So Justin Nichols, man, Lord be with your family, man. You know what I mean? I know this much. After all of this, our sons and daughters going to come back and say, damn, I'm going to listen to you from now on. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that's taking away our brothers and sisters, they're going to get the benefits of this country if they win, and all the benefits of that oil. And it's proper and right for them to go and get down. As for you, you got to follow what the Lord said and become vigilant to fix your people. You know what I mean? Wow. Yaquatazar, who's also a long-time military soldier. Big shout out to Yaquatazar holding down up there in Syracuse area. And Buffalo and all those zones up there. He said that it used to be a vacation site. Now it's a battlefield. That's right. You know what I mean? Oh man, Egypt to Israel. You hit it on the head. You said the draft is coming. You so right. You so right. Like, why wouldn't the draft come? Why wouldn't you, instead of chasing down everybody? Why wouldn't you just pack people up and send them all, into these different areas to do, madness? You know what I mean? Like, this is all a part of these times we in. You know what I mean? So what you're saying is so right. And let me tell you something. If Qatar could become a battlefield, Qatar is damn near the banking system of the Middle East. Dubai is the resort and playboy area. So if those two zones could start getting hit and turn into war zones, what could happen in this empire? Anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? You right. Jet EV, you know what I mean? The last days are upon us, man. You know what I mean? The last days are upon us. And thanks be to the Lord. Me, myself, I've been watching and waiting on these prophecies for a good long time. I done had a little time waiting on these prophecies, but brother, oh man, I got no beef with how the Lord wanted to deliver it, you know what I mean, and deliver what they doing, you know what I'm saying, in the kingdom. I just want to see Christ rule. I read about him. I studied him. I understood his prophecies. I understand these records. I understand this Bible. All I want to see is that kingdom established, man, and all evil be put down. And the people who was given the promise, who our forefather Abraham made a deal with the Most High on. I just want us to get what's due us. You know what I mean? We done suffered through all this. We're going to suffer a little more. But hey, I want us to get our due. Just like everybody else wants they do. They had their time. They had their chance. They had their empire. They had their people. They chose homosexuality. They chose child molestation. They chose human sacrifice. They chose war and thievery and robbery. They chose slavery. They chose whatever they wanted to choose. Now, let's get our choice, which is Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Let us win on top. Mashah, give me a little bit more and then I'm gone.
Common Counsel, verse 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Right, and it's the weapons of his indignation. We saw the weapons of his indignation written about in Egypt. So who knows what his weapons of indignation are now? Who knows what weapons he going to deploy on this earth now? They think they got power with these vaccines and the this and the COVID-19 and all of this stuff. You don't know what the Lord might have them open up one of them labs on. Who knows? And not only them, the other nations. These nations got poisons and I mean, there's so much wickedness in this earth, dog. It's so much destruction. When the Lord decides to push your button, you done. I don't care who you are, you done. And this is the time for all that to happen. Hey, man, everybody hang up in there. Hey, join me Monday night. I'll be back on Monday Night Live. That was the whole point of jumping on here with you now. So you can jump on here with us Monday night. We're going to go more into this Third World War, more into these times that we're living in now. Stay strong, pay your tithes, support the truth, isubk.com. You know how we do. Support that, drop that 10%, man. Keep the ball rolling, you know what I'm saying? I had some haters in the recent times talking about what we do with our finances and so forth and so on, man. We know what we're doing, man. We do great. We do great and we do right. You know what I'm saying? And that's so right. It's all good. Let's get it on, man. We've been waiting to be strong like this. We've been waiting to help our people on a real level, on a real front. I can't wait till the time come where we got thousands and thousands of people to feed, where we got thousands of people to clothe, where we got thousands of people to house. You understand? I saw the faces of the brothers that came back, both from Mexico and the ones that did the one in New York and all the other ones that they do every day. Yeah, man, you might hate on me, but I got young men, your gangbangers, your ex-gangbangers. I got them feeding people in soup kitchens all over this country. Now pop some shit about me now. You understand? I got them organizing, man, and helping the poor, doing funerals for brothers and sisters all over the country, around the world. That's what I'm doing now, to pop shit about me now. You know what I mean? While your leaders is out there doing God knows what evil they doing. I did it. I really dug it out. You want to see a nigga that dug it out the mud? You looking at him right here. You looking at a nigga that really dug it out the mud. Because let me tell you something. I didn't start it, but I damn near had to get it. I damn near had to save it through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shai and the amazing cats that work with me. That's the only way this got dug back up out the mud. And it got dug back out the mud. And it's standing on his feet. And we hungry. We hungry to help. We hungry to feed more and clothe more and house more and teach more. We hungry for it. You know what I'm saying? We hungry to start more programs. We hungry, you know what I'm saying? Where you see tons of young men, tons. I ain't talking one location. I'm talking many locations where you see brothers set up whole food drives. You don't even see Negroes doing food drives. You having a little food drive in your little church. We having citywide food drives. Getting out here feeding the people and all that, man. It ain't been done, man, since the Black Panther Party, man. We doing it. You know what I mean? And doing plenty more. So now pop shit about General Yohana. I know y'all love to hate on me, like to talk about me. It's all good. I love you anyway, man. So listen, join us Monday night. We gonna get it on, man. Big shout out to Captain Mashak, my young, for joining me today. I so appreciate y'all on such short notice, man. We'll see y'all then, man. We get it in. Shalom, fam.
Damn right, sir.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isubk.com and pay your tithe. drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one west. They're one west. They're one west. They're
He parted the Red Sea, and the entire nation of Israel walked out of the slavery of
The ISUPK presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.
ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana presents the official itinerary for the 57th Annual Lord's Passover. Kickoff. Wednesday, April 1st, the lamb slaughter from 11 a.m. Followed by fun and games, basketball, three-point shootout. Can you hit the target in the archery competition? Then let's gather together ourselves and eat some lamb. Later that night, the dopest podcasts, the Round Table of Truth, Cross the Line Radio, and Let a Hebrew Speak, all going down from 8 p.m. Thursday, April 2nd, the annual Kiddies Party. It's all going down at Slick City Action Park from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Followed by Scripture Breakdown class from 7 p.m. with 12 Shield General Mahayim. Friday, April 3rd from 8 p.m. The all-black party. You know how we get down. It's all going down at the BH Ranch, Houston, Texas. Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. we will be hosting a brunch. Then the moment we've been waiting for all year from 5 p.m. sharp, April 4th, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. Followed by the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Sunday, April 5th from 7 p.m. The Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread goes hand in hand, so don't miss it. Make your reservations, book your flights and hotels now. An entire week of activities for only $200. Go to isupk.com, pay your Passover fee now. Shalom.